Alright. So we completed that ice crab job. That was pretty good. But, fuck. On getting back, we found out that, someone had been grave robbing, and a bunch of graves were dug up. So, naturally, with, the town wanting to find out what the fuck happened, there was a bounty. Naturally, we took it bright and early. It's an open job, so we have to be quick, but we did some snooping around, discovered that, that the kid was the source of it all. Something had burst from him, corrupting other corpses, and they all rose and dug themselves out. Probably a weird way of bypassing the funeral rites. You know, naturally we gave this information to Eleanor and her family. They didn't seem to take it very well, but that's to be expected. Took out a bunch of these new, not zombies attacked us while we were trying to find whoever was behind it, and we dispatched them, talked about it to the guards. And then we headed back to the inn, and that's where we are right now.
I was hoping you'd cover Kiori's almost prostitution moment.
Listen, man, I have a terrible memory. I barely remember.
Or her being back in general.
Or Kiori being back in general, true.
Oh! I almost said
Like
Alda. Fucking Volcrum didn't know Kiori was there in the first place!
In any case, yeah, so the other thing is, Kiori returned back from the party after taking having some people try to ambush and kill her, and she sent off Locke to go, inform your family, wasn't it?
Try to investigate what's going on because she knows who did it, and it wants to know why.
Trying to figure out why.
Yeah, why. And also, to the simple sake of the party also discovering that Kiori was trying to talk to an old man to get information and almost propositions herself as a prostitute unknowingly.
R.I.P. Lou.
Oh, and Lou died again.
He got
and
smacked.
Also, Archon spoke to the boat people and changed alcohol.
The boat people.
Oh yeah, that's right.
A 12-point plan to stop the boats!
The boat people. I feel like there's just these people who they're just half boat people, and they're like kind of like mermaids, but just boats.
I just think that Archon's the kind of guy that would be like, fuck the boat people.
I don't understand what it is.
He's racist.
None of y'all do. This is just for me and Dan.
At this point,
Like
I'm picturing the sequel to Wizard of Oz with the bike people, but instead now they're boat people. I don't know why, but...
Incredibly insensitive of you. Can't believe you would say that.
Any case, so you guys awakened the next morning after having a long night's rest dealing with the worm zombie-fications. Today, though, Alivor finally awakens too from his room.
You know, Heath, we really gotta talk about what happens in these things.
We will, if we ever get a chance to chat one-on-one. I'll give you an idea.
Okay.
Sleeping Beauty returns to us.
He's not dead.
No, why would I be dead?
Hello.
What the fuck?
Well, yeah. You were at my straight
He's
24
back.
hours.
Why?
Her family's trying to kill her.
Well,
Can't
No,
Slay.
you're actually dead. I'm
Can't
here
say I
in
blame
your
him.
hell.
I wince in the direction of Welcome. Making sure Kiara
No.
doesn't see.
what I miss.
All
Hmm.
they're
Somebody-
zombies now.
I'm not explaining.
Yeah.
Not really zombies, but like
And it's the
animated
kid.
corpses. Like corpses being controlled by worms inside the bodies because the kid somehow had the worms as well, which is what I
It's
think would cause the
Billy.
disease or something. It was a big
Alivor
breakfast.
slowly pans his head towards.
Towards
Yeah,
who?
fine. No, it's a,
And you want to go to the land of bugs?
yeah, I want to go to the land of bugs. It's better than the land of snakes.
I don't know. So far, this has also been a land of bugs. Maybe snakes is a nice change of pace.
I think you'd be surprised. Snakes are bigger.
They're like tiny versions and legless versions of Archon.
Hey, do you remember that time when we first got to this town, where we noticed that we were being followed?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we reckon they're probably behind all this zombie nonsense.
The guy in the black cloak. Not black, brown, whatever.
And why are we stepping in this shit?
Money.
250 gold pieces!
Able to get on the boat now.
250, huh?
If we win, it's a competition, kinda.
I think we
What a
already
charge.
won.
Then
Would have charged 500 back in my day.
look, beggars can't be choosers.
Should I have haggled? Maybe we can haggle when we win.
We're not haggling.
This is already a lot. Don't push your luck.
I don't think a city like this would have that much anyways.
Well, it's a big port town. Anyway,
But it's in a frozen kind of wasteland-ish place, and I see better.
People in our situation probably don't want to draw too much attention to ourselves.
I'm so bad with names. What was your name again? Look towards Alivor.
Draco.
Alivor.
No, Alivor. What? Oh yeah, right. What's
Fucking
your name
wish.
yourself? Something dumb, I imagine.
What are you talking about?
Your name.
What about
The
my
fake name you made up for yourself.
Oh, for,
In character, he'd remember. I don't remember out of character, so.
Honestly,
But
neither do I.
I don't remember at the moment either. I would have to go back to recordings to say what you said.
I think it
Do
was
it.
like
Ooh.
Thor something.
I remember everybody else's name, just not Alivor.
I was thinking that this morning. I was like, what?
By the way, Ares, you logged off early, so I made up a name for Kiori.
What is it?
Maya.
Maya? Why that?
Because we got
He
Lilith.
just made up a name.
Yeah, but why that one? That one just sucks.
Because we got Lilith.
Okay.
Okay, I didn't go that far, but fair enough.
I mean, why did you have to go with a fake one? You could have just told. I don't really care.
We all have fake names because we're all on the run for one reason or another.
Oh yeah, I forgot to explain that part. Not
For
it.
sure we need it. Sure, no, I don't care.
We also kept one of those worms for you in case you wanted to
Give me. Give me.
study
Give
it.
me. Give
Eat
me.
it.
Give me.
I give
Someone give her the
the-
worm.
I give her the coffee mug.
Sounds like a
There's
bad
2 in there,
idea.
right?
No, the gods kept one. Didn't
No,
they?
we gave one
No,
to
no,
the
no, we
guards and
kept-
kept one
Oh,
for ourselves.
I
I
want
thought
to
we
look at
kept
it.
both. Because one to the guild.
Okay,
Do
so
you think-
Kiori looks
What?
into this dead little worm in the bottom of a coffee cup.
It's a mind flayer, Ted.
Well, we
Mm.
have to give the proof to the guild, not to the gods.
But we gave it to the gods for them to look at,
I want to poke it.
and kept the other
Full
one.
of enough.
Hey, you poke it with your finger, it's dead.
Damn it.
I think this is enough to get the bounty. Yeah.
I want to sniff it.
No, we have to still bring the bodies and stuff there.
Very
Gotta know
earthy.
about hauling zombies over to it.
Mm.
On.
I'm more like the culprit, so.
Let's see. What do I have here?
If I was the guild, I would not.
we take a long
250
rest or a
gold.
rest at all or no?
You guys had a long rest.
Oh,
So
I
next
okay,
know,
time.
I
right.
had a long rest.
If I was the guild, I would not give a 250 gold reward for a dead worm.
Yeah.
Got a point.
Can I identify it? Actually, no, I don't have a pro. Wait, oh no. I don't have a pro. I wish I had a pro. That would be nice, but no, I don't. That sucks. Let's see. Can I just take a look at it to see if there's anything alchemical, is this artificially made? Is this a natural thing?
You can roll me a nature check.
I want to guide myself.
It should be easy to
So,
keep
do
track.
you think this worm is what caused his sickness?
Yeah.
Is that the running
Yeah,
theory?
A lot of worms, not just one.
Just take it in
Unfortunately,
there.
looking at this worm, you can't really identify much about it.
Hmm.
Just seems to be a worm, which you can gather from the fact that it's kind of slimy and has no arms or legs.
Hmm. Does it look does it look like a normal worm, or there's anything specifically weird about it?
Well, it definitely has kind of an odd coloring to it. But again, based off of your nature check, you don't know a lot about worms.
Hmm. That's not.
Regardless, I think we're gonna have to need to catch these cultists, for lack of better word.
I suppose the one thing I'll say that you would know is just by look at it, it's a bit more translucent than a normal worm.
Hmm. Can I see the insides of it? What is it, normal biology or what?
You can't really see the inside of it. It's just kind of white and slimy.
Hmm. Hmm.
Stop
is it clean?
You person who played with your bone sword.
Well, as clean as any worm coming out of a dead, mutilated corpse can be.
I want to clean it.
Okay. How are you cleaning it, out of curiosity?
Just with water and some soap or something.
Okay, so
Well,
you just...
that's a mistake giving that cup to her.
Yes.
So you guys
Oh,
now
don't
watch
worry.
as Kiori gives a dead worm a bath.
But she is efficient.
I'm just gonna do something a bit weird. It might sound a bit gross, but I'm gonna lick it.
How'd you not put that in your mouth?
It usually isn't worth it, though. Gonna be honest.
As Kiori licks the worm...
Look, I've known this lady for a day and a bit
eyes turn...
I've already watched her climb into a grave and lick a worm.
I'm gonna
Don't know
note
where
that
it can
Talitha
go
is
from
gonna
here.
depart from the table. I'm gonna go sit by the hearth.
I don't know, I find it real entertaining.
Hmm.
As long as she
Maybe it
doesn't
would
swallow
be-
it. Good, do not swallow it, I pointed her.
I'm not going to. Why would you think would do that? That's
I
disgusting.
don't fucking know.
Yeah, can't think of any reasons.
She's just gonna look at it. Can I try to dissect it?
Do you have a
Oh.
dagger?
I do.
Well, I guess
Please
you
do not
can
cut
dissect
this
it
thing.
then.
Fine. I won't open it. I can just stitch it back up if you need me to.
No.
Okay.
I will allow one other person to make a nature check on the worm if they want to.
I doubt
Sure,
it,
I'll do it.
Emma.
Never mind. I'm gonna go to the hearth.
Our
Um,
guidance, Atlius.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
Use your guidance roll.
Nature.
Nice.
Oh,
Don't-
lucky.
Oh my
Don't-
god.
Oh,
Oh,
he's
lucky.
Yeah, lucky. He's
Oh.
a halfling.
Oh, you're right.
18. That's good.
Look at those nice guidance rolls, though. Ooh, there's a clean.
I'm spicy. Let's go.
Okay, Atlius. You're not a massive master of nature and biology, but you have had problems in the past with eating foods you shouldn't have, and you're not positive, but the closest thing you can equate this worm to is something you once saw get pulled out after eating some undercooked meat.
Gross.
AKA, it's a tapeworm.
Yeah,
But
it's like a
different.
tapeworm.
Yeah, but different. It's a little off, like the coloring's and size of it is different even for a tapeworm, but it seems to be some sort of tapeworm that's kind of mutated in some way.
Goddamn culinary arch nemesis.
So, what do you think, kid?
Well, I tilt my head to the side. It's kind of like a tapeworm, don't you think? But like when you look at Archon, like when you like eat something that it's not really like cooked properly.
This fucking girl just licked a goddamn tapeworm.
I've done worse.
But it's not exactly like a tapeworm. Tapeworms don't animate dead bodies.
Maybe it's some kind of experiment.
I mean, I let Yebens blow off a cave wall while his head was bashed into it.
Don't ask, I'm not explaining. He looks at one from.
What kind of luck is Welcome giving me right now?
He's just giving you like this confused but mostly disappointed stare.
Kiori looks completely fine with it. She even looks proud of herself a little bit.
I just make a mental coloration of the worm.
Alrighty then.
I'm gonna try to like light it up like how you do with like a flashlight to see if I can see the insides of it a bit better.
Cast a light on the cup.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So
Yeah,
you,
so
Bless you.
I'll say sure. You cast light on it. You do notice that when you kind of light it up, you can kind of start making out a little bit of detail through its semi-translucent skin. You can see what it kind of looks like to be kind of like weird black purpley veins running through it.
Lias, can you see if this is magic, artificial? Like, what do you think about it? I'm not quite sure. I might show it to Lias, just tilting the cup over.
Oh, wait. I adjust a bit to the light of the cup.
Guidance, in case he does anything.
What do I think of? Like, does this seem like the veins and stuff
you can
normal
roll me an
tapeworm
art.
physiology?
If you're trying to figure if that's normal tapeworm physiology, you can roll me another nature check. If you're trying to figure if it's magical in nature, you can roll me an arcana check.
I think magic, because it's a magic worm that animates bodies, so I'll try to deduce that. Arcana, did you say?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, 26. You don't know a lot about worm biology, but you can tell that these, just through the purple-black nature of the veins, yet you assume that there's some sort of magical mutation involved.
Oh, God.
You're not positive about what could have caused it, not your expertise of magic, but
Right.
there's some sort of magical mutation that caused this worm to look like this.
It appears to be a mutation of some kind, magical in nature. I just I look over at Archon and kind of give him like a downward nod to allude to his previous theory from when we were at the grave.
So we're dealing with a magic caster who is able to infuse a specific worms to do something like that. But is there any like magic capable of doing that?
Necromancy.
Maybe, but like, what kind of necromancy spell could be infused into something and then have it do it to other things?
Maybe
I
the worm
don't
is the
think
zombie itself.
I don't think it's a necromancy spell. At least I wouldn't conclude that, because that's what funeral rites are supposed to stop.
Sounds kind of like something a druid could do, doesn't it?
It might be more like enchantment, where it can just move the body itself, like animate it rather than, or transmutation, you can just animate it without
because it wasn't technically undead. It was just somehow moving and controlling a
That's
body.
what I mean.
Yeah, but how could
I
something?
don't think it's a necromancy spell.
So
If it
what you're
was-
saying is they're more like puppets and zombies.
Yeah, I know, and like I prove
Why
it
is-
as well.
Why use these worms specifically? Why not just use something else?
Well,
Probably be harder to track.
Yeah, tiny, getting into places. Dig through the ground in the grave.
I can see.
Yeah.
that.
Also means the culprit doesn't have to be there himself.
But still, he had to get it there somehow.
Yeah, which they
Well,
did by infecting the lad.
How did they do that though? It couldn't have just stayed there the entire time though. That would be like waiting a very long time to do so.
Well, it was
if
probably
it's like
incubating.
if it's like a normal tapeworm that they just kind of like experimented on and infused with whatever magic they did, if that's our current theory, then they could have just like implanted this super tapeworm into Billy and then let it just gestate in there until he died.
Billy.
Would I know if the tapeworm with like some augmentation could cause whatever he had, or like is the sickness and the tapeworm completely irrelevant to each other?
You can roll me a medicine check.
Can I guidance myself?
Yeah, you can guidance yourself. Okay. So based off what you know of this sickness that you were described, you don't really believe the tapeworm could have caused the sickness. It doesn't seem like they could. I mean, there seems to be a connection there just due to the sickness and this tapeworm being about, but you don't necessarily think the tapeworm, mutated or not, would cause the sickness, unless, of course, some weird way the tapeworm was infused with magic causing a sickness. You're not positive, but you can't really dictate any medical reason why this tapeworm could cause that sort of sickness. Like, if it is, it's just magic in itself. The tapeworm was just
So
the means
it's more like-
to inject it, but the tapeworm itself was not the cause.
So it's more like a symptom rather than an actual direct.
I don't think they correlate with each other. I think it's just coincidence that
Well,
it
I
almost
don't
certain that he
think
was
it-
going to die.
I don't think it was a coincidence. Even if they are unrelated, think about it. If you're going to infect someone with a worm that will bring back corpses, you want them to die.
She was already going to die anyways.
Unless,
How long has
well,
this happened though? Like how long has this been going on?
You don't
Not too
know.
long, right?
Yeah, time frame, but months.
didn't Eleanor say it was
Nine
like
months.
3 months or something?
It was 6 months when the kid got its first
6 months.
symptoms.
6
Someone
months.
who's been in the
and
city for 6 months. Maybe even longer. So it's not someone just
Well,
coming
no
out
one else
traveling.
No one else had that illness. Just him.
Mm-hmm.
no one was apparently able to figure out what it was or how to cure it.
Not gonna lie, I still think it's some kind of cult or gang or something.
I
Yeah,
agree.
for sure think it's a cult.
While,
From-
so
If
while
we
I'm
look
talking-
at what we know so far, and what we think we know so far, kid was infected, kid got sick, kid died, worms got out, worms inhabited other corpses, corpses escaped. So, even if the worm and the sickness aren't directly connected,
Why would they want to
I-
bring back corpses though? What's their motive? What's the reason behind it? What are they going to do besides just cause mass panic?
Knowledge.
I mean,
The fact that they can do it, or proof that they could do it. They
Mm.
could bypass
mass
the
panic is
funeral
also
rites.
just a pretty powerful tool in certain hands.
Why those specific people though? Like why only 12 though? Why?
I don't think.
Well, it's entirely
Looks like
possible
it's
that's all of
random.
the worms that there were.
Maybe.
When... I'll let Heath finish.
No, keep talking, guys.
Oh, when, oh god. Oh, my train of thought just, like, left me. I'll come back to it.
Maybe we
I
need to
banged
find
my
a
head against the table.
Because a spellcaster had to have done this.
Yeah, the man in the brown robe.
Yeah, but I don't know where he might be, though.
The only spellcaster we know of is the Lord of the town.
Maybe we can just ask Remy to go to the alchemical shop. Maybe he might know more about what's inside the worm or something.
I doubt he will if no one found out what the cause of this worm was for the whole 6 months. I'm pretty sure the whole Eleanor's family would have combed every single avenue they could think of.
But the worm was inside of
Might
him, though.
know.
They didn't know that. So it's really hard to detect these things. Plus, they didn't know what symptoms.
Well,
They didn't know
sure.
the symptoms they were looking for. So maybe something was
could
infused
go.
inside the worm. We can see what it is. I think that's important to see what it is and what it's made out of.
You chick,
what
you
we're
know your
dealing with.
kobold friend.
Hmm?
You know your kobold friend.
Yeah.
They had a real bad feeling about that lord. And I gotta agree with them. I don't think asking them anything, especially about this, is a good idea.
Well, we're not asking the Lord, right? We're asking the
Asking the-
alchemical guy
Yeah.
from the shop.
Oh,
And if he acts suspicious or anything weird, we know who might be associated with him. Two birds with one stone, I suppose.
I
think
doubt
that's
he'll know
bad.
anything, but we might as well try.
Agreed.
Okay. Telva, Avalor, are you two doing anything besides sitting by the fire?
Making out.
Mm-hmm. Doing the
No.
third flirt.
Lou's like right there, security camera on it, giving me all the deets.
The
Mhm.
baby cam.
slap.
Oh no. Resolution, like.
But yeah,
10k.
But yeah, Telva, Avalor, are you two doing anything?
He'd walk up to Talitha after a nice long sleep. So, I've noticed I've been missing days here and there.
Yep, you have.
I've just been sleeping the whole time, for real.
With your sword in hand, yes.
No one's doing anything with my body or anything, are they?
Not since the last time Kiori did, no. I kept the room locked, don't worry.
He does that, like, confused white guy blink last time.
At the inn, way before we got here.
Oh. Right.
Since then,
I
no.
see.
No one's done anything to you.
Yeah. Maybe next time I'll trick him.
Trick them?
Yeah. They're gonna pull some kind of shenanigans on me when I'm asleep. I'll reciprocate.
I believe it's only Kiori. I don't think Atlas would really have the gall to do anything. Not alone, anyway.
Yeah, I was going to say, he and Kiori are agents of chaos when you put them in a room together. Especially when it comes to Archon. They seem to like to pick on him for some reason.
I don't know why. Maybe just because they've never really been close to a Dragonborn. Or they just like to irritate him and they like the reaction.
I think it's part getting a rise out of him. He
Mm.
feeds into it.
Wouldn't call it feeding into it. I'd see it more as, I don't know, maybe they just like him angry.
I feel like that's feeding into it a little bit.
I mean, he has the right to be angry.
Sure, but I learned ignoring things tends to stop it in terms of that kind of stuff.
Not always.
I guess you're right, maybe they wouldn't. We'll probably never know. What day is it?
Oh god, I'm gonna check the calendar for that.
It is
18th.
the 18th day of, I haven't named the months yet, of Keelery.
I will
the day.
recite the date. We don't have months yet. Congrats.
Right, what day are we leaving port?
In, I believe it's 3 more days, right?
This would be day 4, so you would be leaving in 3 more days, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Did all the loose ends get tied up in this worm deal?
No.
Great.
There's still a few missing bodies that are not accounted for. And we've not found the person who had been watching us that we believe is our token subject for doing all this. Culprit. So the ideal would be finding this person.
Have they been spotted again since that first time?
No, not yet. We did search around where we had last spotted them, but I don't think anything was found. I think there might have been a distraction.
Do we know if that worm was put in there post-mortem?
For sure? Not exactly, but from how the coffin looked, it was opened from the inside. Broken from the inside.
That doesn't mean somebody didn't tamper with the body. We were gone. So I know it couldn't have been any of us, but I don't imagine her family would do that. However, there's the robed figure, but perhaps it was the butler.
You really think Jenkins would do something like this?
Look, people think I'm a dumb fighter, but I've read plenty of history books. It's always the butler. Can't always be the butler for no good reason. Just a thought.
It's a very little grasping thought.
Give me a break. I just sleep for a whole day. Maybe even longer.
Fair.
I don't even remember the crab fight. Though your laughing does not bode well, what happened?
Oh, nothing. Let's just say, you put on a bit of flair.
Flare.
Yeah, and she's gonna leave it at that.
Hmm. A little worrisome.
I'm so sorry. Don't blame me.
So, I have a question. When you go into these sleep phases, do you have any certain dreams? Or you just black out?
None that I've recalled so far. Can't quite say I remember much. I'm sure there's something there, but maybe in the future I'll have a better answer.
Does it bother you?
That it happens? Yes.
Hmm.
Never happened before until I got that sword on the mountain.
I would imagine strange things would happen when you find a random weapon. Especially one like that.
People find random weapons all the time.
Not like that, they don't.
Well, the bone motif it has. It's kind of weird, but yeah, never happened before though. Perhaps it's some way of my mind trying to make sense of the things that's happened in the last few months. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and with that, guys, I'll say, what are your guys' plans now?
I'm gonna bring my butler theory to everybody else.
I also think it's Jenkins.
No, that's literally, it's like there's no scientific basis to go off of. We just can't be like, hey, it's the butler because
He knew the name of Billy. If he is
yeah, he knows. He knew the name of Billy because he worked for the family for years.
Exactly. That's why Man in Brown Robe would know his name.
No, don't.
You see, that's
He would
the thing,
also-
though. There's
he would
no
also
scientific
be one of
basis
the-
that he wasn't involved in it.
Not too long.
He's also one of the few people that would have constant access to him, you know, to
No, it's
help this
Oh
along
my God.
or whatever.
It could have been the father or the mother then.
It
Also,
could've.
he had a very controlled demeanor when Billy died. He was like, "I'm used to this shit."
That's a butler thing.
Yeah.
I
Have
don't
you never-
think that's
have
a
you never
butler
had a
thing. I
butler
think that's
before?
a murderer thing. No.
Okay,
No, I've
okay.
never had a butler before.
Well, okay, you got a point. It
Oh,
could
sorry. The butlers usually act like that. Apologies.
Have you ever heard of a suspect before?
I'm not saying he did it, but he could have had a hand in it.
Why did your mind immediately go to the butler?
He's shifty.
Have you not
Yeah.
read any books?
Ones that are not realistic, no.
What? I'm on Alvar's side here.
But I don't read books that are not realistic
You've
at
never
all.
read any Agatha Christie books before?
No.
Fuck is that?
No, I believe the lass. I don't think that she's read anything that. Well, don't think she knows what the word fun means.
I know what fun is.
Slicking
Look,
worms.
there's a few types of intelligence out there. There's book smart, which I'm sure you are. There's street smart, which is, you know, more like people like guards. They go around and they have common sense and stuff of that nature.
Are you just saying I don't have common sense?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just giving you an
You
example.
licked a worm.
Yes. For scientific purposes.
And you know, common sense would dictate a worm that came out of a reanimated dead person's body that shouldn't have been able to be reanimated would say, don't lick that.
So what you're saying
No.
is you don't think she has any common sense?
We're gonna continue talking about bugs and going back to the hearth.
Yeah,
willing to
I'll
take
send
the
Lou to
risk.
come get you when we're done.
I'm saying in some aspects you probably lack that fight or flight response. Would
No,
really...
I calculate my risk and what I'm willing to take or not.
So, say the worm did infect you and you died. What would you have gained from that?
Knowing that it wasn't actually dead and that there was some kind of, I suppose, still active virus still inside of it.
Can't Claire's
But-
healing bullshit deal with
Well,
that?
Krim just like looks
No.
at
Plus, it
Alamor.
only infected the dead.
He does like the look at the camera like you're on the office, but he does it at Alamor.
Albor does it back.
I
Would you
cover
prefer
my
if I died,
eyes with
Alivor?
my palms and I massage my temples, remembering yesterday's prostitution incident.
The distraction that was mentioned.
Look,
What's that look
this is
for, Alias?
this is besides the point. The butler is a very heavy suspect. Very. Few
I'm just
people
saying
have
it would be
access to
wise to not count somebody out because of their position with the family and who they are.
I'm just saying there are more important needs that we need to follow than just suspect the butler did it.
We have
But we
6
can't
of them.
saying we
ignore
chase
it.
up the butler.
Fucking Christ.
We can't
All right.
ignore it either.
We're not going to
Assessment
Are you-
ignore it.
I used to do this shit for a fucking living, okay? I'm not
Yeah.
saying it is the butler. I'm saying that if it was the butler, I would not be surprised.
He might have had a hand in it, but I don't think he was the main one who did it. I think he was
That's
coerced
what
into it.
Alva
That
was
still
saying.
makes him guilty.
Yes, that's fine, but we need to find out more about the worm and who's the main instigator of it all.
And we're going to.
Okay, then what's the problem?
I don't know!
There's
Why
no
are you
problem.
complaining about it?
Just bring up his ideas!
I'm not complaining.
Leans back.
I walk away.
Looks at Alivor again.
I'm gonna go. Get the cup.
I look at Alivor and it's always the butler.
I just didn't like the idea that you guys got the
I
idea
agree.
from a fantasy novel, that's it.
Look, fantasy novels, while they are fantasy, they have some semblance of realism. That's what makes them, you know, believable.
But still, that was my only issue with the subject. I don't really care if it was a butler or not, it's just that you got it from a fantasy novel is why you thought of this.
Didn't you have issue with it before he mentioned the novels?
I've heard of this trope before, I've read in some kind of literary sense.
He looks at Alivor again.
Why died move?
I
And
read
just
literature
leans back and
novels.
crosses his arms.
Not like
So are we
fantasy
going?
novels, but describing the tropes and the literacy of other things.
You know, if I'd mentioned this was in a research paper held by, I don't know, some hoity-toity guard in the capital city, you would have been all over it.
Yes, I would have
don't
been.
think she would have believed you. Oh,
Therefore,
never
you
mind.
have a bias towards one way or the other.
Yes. So what?
Well, my bias is this is a fucking waste of time. What are we doing?
That's not a
Okay.
bias. That's a fact.
We're gonna go to Mr. Shopman.
No, I was just waiting for you all to
He
go.
knows this. And then maybe we'll talk to the Lord.
Okay, did you guys all want to travel together? Did you want to split up? What's the plan here?
I want to stick with Otlius, so.
Yeah, I go.
I
I
think
just
it seems us
charge
three,
I'm holding the mug.
but I think we can make more luck. Just wander around and see what the fuck happens.
I wouldn't
came
say that was a
after
good
us first.
idea.
Have we been in contact with the Lord again at all?
No.
Not yet.
No, not yet. Not
Yeah,
since.
Talitha,
well,
you should probably not go.
I'm fine staying here if that's wanted.
Oh, so this is like an inn, so a bunch of people might be like, "Oh, did you hear about X?"
I suppose we
I
could ask around
Can
the inn.
certainly try and see if anyone knows anything.
Sorry again, Talitha.
Just don't make the Lord angry.
I'll try not to.
Honestly,
us-
I know it sounds stupid, but guy in brown robes found us. When we searched for him, we didn't find him. Maybe we go out. He
Yeah, we're
finds
not.
us.
Yeah, maybe.
They could
I mean-
very easily be onto us already.
Hmm.
I
So
am
this-
willing.
That's the other thing. Why do we suspect the brown robed guy? Did they do something?
He made
They had
contact with
contact
the
with
kid.
Billy.
Touched his shoulder. Felt some kind of weird
And-
thing, I think.
Shortly
Why did you
after.
touch
is
his
when it
shoulder?
started. Shortly
they,
before
like-
he got sick.
Yeah, he like talked to it. Eleanor was the one who told us the testimony, apparently.
Ah,
But they shrugged it off because it was just a dude. And they are a pretty influential family, right? So it wouldn't be too far fetched that somebody would know.
that's a strange thing though. You think they would leverage a cure or something for money? Clearly, they
Unless
had
it
other
wasn't the
goals.
goal.
Which is why I'm thinking it's a cult.
But a cult
I'm
to
inclined
who
to
or
agree.
what?
Hmm. I don't know the fucking gods around here.
Well,
It doesn't even need to be a god necessarily. It could just be some powerful or knowledgeable wizard of some kind.
This is why we get a bad rap. I say under my breath.
Like if someone's out there claiming they can bring the dead back to life without necromancy, that would be a pretty powerful word to follow.
Oh, I remember my question now, Heath. When we fought the zombies, did they have a nest, multiple worms, plural, swirling around in their body, or was it just the one big worm?
The worm isn't that big, and I remember he saying there were so many of
There,
them. in
there
each
were
body.
multiple
Right.
worms, and the worms were kind of moving out and kind of piecing the body back together. Basically,
so
what you could tell from the fight, for what you guys would gather, is it looks like the worms kind of spread throughout the body, kind of moving the ligaments.
They are literal worm zombies.
so
Nightmare
I
fuel.
didn't fight these zombies. What exactly were they like?
They're
Like
kind of
normal-
zombies. No,
Were they
They
trying
acted
to bite you, or
yeah, they bit.
they acted
got
like normal
scratched.
zombies.
Tried swinging at you. Just as easy to take out, though.
but full of
Also
worms?
just yeah,
Yeah.
and also not zombies. By definition, I mean.
What do you mean? They look just like them.
Which to note, I
They
think
weren't
there was
undead.
3 or 4 bodies still missing from the whole lot.
Teleth, are you okay?
Also,
I
let
don't
Talitha speak, yeah.
see the worms, but yes, I'm fine.
Just making sure
I-
that you don't like bugs.
Hmm.
And
I
quite
think-
frankly, this country has made me less of a fan of them. Wouldn't say I'm afraid of them, but God, they're annoying.
That kind of been happening lately, I'll give you that.
I mean,
I think-
realistically, crabs are just ocean bugs, too.
I was thinking that, but this chick doesn't apparently.
I can
They're
see
not
your
bugs,
point of
they're
view.
Seafood.
Oh, so because you can eat them, they're not bugs.
You can
mean,
eat bugs,
You can eat bugs.
Okay, but because
just
she
not
wants...
these.
There's a vast difference between a crustacean and an insect.
Like what? They both have their exoskeleton.
She's just gonna give a sideward glare.
No, I gotta admit, I'm with Oliver here. They seem pretty similar.
Anyway,
Anyway.
that's not the point. That's not the debate here. We can talk about that when we're on the boat.
I think there's actually more bodies. So,
Yeah,
Because
no,
there-
there definitely,
those ones-
definitely wasn't all of it.
yeah, some of no, like
Yeah,
not
some
all
of
of them
look...
came from the grave.
Yeah,
Yes, but
some
we
of them
don't
look
know-
real fresh.
We don't know if there was anyone buried before Billy either. We don't know how fresh any of those bodies were.
No, I'm talking like they
Well,
look like
we
they
looked
just
at the
stood right
dates.
the hell up.
I looked because I looked at all the gravestones, and not a lot of them that came up were pretty old. There weren't many like newly buried
Did-
people.
Anyone look in the dirt?
Yeah,
Try and
Yes.
dictate if the worms crawled through the dirt too.
so we can. They
I
like
mean, we did
broke
find
out.
lions in the dirt.
Yeah, we found like the worm trail. All like
Basically,
centered on
didn't-
Billy.
they didn't tunnel underground. They got out of the grave, went along the floor and into other graves.
From
Yeah.
Billy's.
Which means somehow they knew where their graves were.
That's a little
It also
strange to
mean-
me.
It also means they
It
can't
is,
stay
but-
underground for that long.
So,
I mean, they are tapeworms designed for, inhabiting a body, not crawling in the ground.
They're parasites, not fertilizers.
well. So I guess we should split up into a few groups. Perhaps one group goes and talks to the Lord, the other group investigates the suspects, and then the third one can maybe talk to people around town and look for these other bodies.
Yeah,
How hard were these things to beat?
not really.
They're
They
just
were pretty
resilient.
easy.
I fought zombies before, not many of them, but yeah, about that point.
They're pretty weak. That's pretty unlikely that they even hit you in the first place. The only difficulty comes in when, they're on their last legs. They seem to be able to sustain damage that should kill them.
At some point, one of them was almost all worms.
Yeah, that was weird.
I wouldn't count them as dangerous, at least not to the likes of us.
Regular people, though. I'm thinking that before they found us, they found a few other bodies to inhabit.
Well, that's what I'm worried about, and I'm curious if they can inhabit animals.
Probably.
Maybe. Or maybe they're just specifically designed for
So,
humanoids.
Here's my suggestion for whomever goes to talk to the Lord.
Okay.
Make the suggestion of cremating the dead.
That's a good idea.
If these worms have no dead to infect, then they can be systematically taken out. Much easier.
Not
And
gonna
if he
lie.
says like,
talking to
nah, fam, then he's probably in on it.
And if he is in on it, then he's in on us.
Hey, Telethar, do you know if cremating the dead could potentially go against religious rites or something?
I'm not too sure what it would be here. I was allowed to practice my own rites. It's something we could likely ask Eleanor.
What do I know? I'm proficient in religion.
Yeah, anyone who would
Good.
like to roll a religion roll for this?
Kiori, guide me! She's
Telethar has
please.
guidance.
Yeah, I was like, tell it.
Yeah, I can guide him.
I think he already needs some guidance in the bathroom.
Oof.
Oh, dude.
Oof. 20.
Okay, so you do know that cremation isn't very common. It's a lot of religions prefer not to cremate their bodies, though in extreme cases it is something that is allowed to be done.
Okay. So it's more like it was just a preference for the clergy to bury them because they're like. But
Yeah.
they don't really outwardly like ban cremation or anything.
There is no banning. It's not like if you cremate a body, there's some religious
like-
stigma saying that their soul goes to hell or something.
Yeah, or like a blaspheme.
That's what I was concerned about, so thank God.
Okay, I think it's fine.
I mean, it's in my opinion, it would be no different than if people were dying of a very infectious disease, and the only way to stop it from spreading is to cremate the
Well,
bodies.
You're right, but some people can get real weird when it comes to religion.
Indeed.
Yep.
Well,
I don't know what you mean.
that's true. Hopefully nobody here is like that.
Fingers crossed. Well, I think if anyone's going to talk to the Lord, it should probably be me and the lad.
I know,
Don't agree, but still.
a little
He's
bit
on
excited in his eyes.
If he's in on this, we're gonna fuck ourselves up.
Well, as long as we don't.
Well, what would he have to
Give away
gain
too
from
much.
this?
Well, let's think of it this way. If he is in on this, and there's now a, bounty and a job, we wouldn't be the only ones that'd be going to see him to talk about what's going on in his town.
You got a point.
I don't know if people would go and
Some might.
talk to him.
I haven't met the Lord, but I don't imagine he would be daft enough to conduct such experiments in his own town.
Yeah.
Then again, I've been wrong before, so...
I've seen some weird shit from these nobles.
Yeah, I was gonna say, stuck out of town just for that reason. Woods are pretty fucked up.
I'll be honest, he doesn't exactly strike me as the type, but doesn't really mean much.
Anyone can deceive.
That sounded like it came from a personal place.
What?
Nothing. Shall we go?
I don't see any reason to hang around for us much longer.
Okay, so who's going where, guys?
Well, Criminalius
Oh.
will head to the Lord's mansion.
I'm
Should
going
we
out
go
in the
there straight
town.
away, or should we go to the alchemist place just to ask if we recognize it and then go?
Well, I would say we should go straight away because
Keep their time. Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll
you
go
have to go
straight away.
first. Yeah.
Kira still has the mug because I'm sure she'll flame me. Like, I don't have the worm! So,
I don't really think we need the worm.
yeah.
That's it's a pretty worthy worm.
Well, it's been licked, so
Yeah,
it's technically her property now.
Oh, it's gross.
Okay.
Imagine fucking licking a tapeworm. Jesus Christ.
Okay, it's dead. That's
It's still a
one step.
tapeworm.
It is
It's still a tapeworm.
It is a tapeworm, but it's dead. So it ain't moving.
That makes it worse if you think about it.
How does that make it worse?
Because it's dead.
Imagine licking a dead animal.
But yes, but do you want the
You do it
tapeworm
every day.
crawling?
It's cold roast beef.
I don't lick roast beef.
Look, we cook it first.
It literally, the comparison is like if she just found some fucking roadkill and was like, tastes
Okay,
good.
that'd be less weird than licking a tapeworm, though. But yeah.
Okay,
anyway.
okay. I think let's get back to topic, guys. So you guys are heading off to the Lord's Castle.
Yeah.
And what is anybody else doing? Just so I have.
While
a
you
time
guys
frame.
figure out what you're doing, I'm actually just gonna get chained.
Oh yeah, go for it.
So I'm gonna have Tell stay at the inn and kind of like try and overhear any rumors.
Okay.
I'm going
For the
out in
sake
the
of
town.
easiness sake, I say, well, Kiori will assist you with that.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell Alvo's doing, but I'm going out in the town. Just gonna walk around, maybe try to find some extra odd jobs. Just generally walk around, not really look lost, because I'm not lost, but try to see if I can't attract any attention from those guys in brown robes.
Fair enough.
Just generally look busy.
And Alivor, do you have a plan?
Well, I was going to see if I can find the remaining zombos.
Okay. So you also be kind of walking around town, but with more of a focused intent.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I will be looking for zombies as well, but
Well, in that case, the pair of you can look for zombies together for easiness. That it's easier to split you off into pairs.
if he wants to be with me, I'm not sure if he's
Yes, they can finally do their bromance.
I swear to God.
Yay! You can be prostitutes together.
I think we both want to be alone, I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, I don't care either way.
Yeah.
Probably better to not do it alone.
Yeah,
You find the
they're both
zombies.
Back.
I'm pretty tough. I don't know.
Oh, man.
It's
Okay,
not a
so-
We can
tough
decide
thing.
that afterward.
In any case, we'll start off then with Wilcrim and Odlius, since Cam's got to go here first. So you guys wander through town and you make your way towards the palace down here to the south.
Indeed.
So as you
He's
guys make
taking a break in his pocket dimension. Because I killed him yesterday. Self-care.
And yeah, I'll be fully decked out. I'll have all my shit on me.
okay,
Me too.
so as you're all
Good time
decked out and
clean
ready to go, you guys make your way down there. You have no problem getting there, but when you get to the gate, you get obviously when you reach the gates of the palace, you are stopped by a pair of burly guards looking at you like, "What the hell do you two want?"
Well, if you wouldn't mind, we would like to speak to the Lord about the bounty.
They both look at you oddly. Why
Tell
do you
him,
want to
tell him Layman Stone Hollow's outside.
They look at you back and forth. He nods to his friend to come in there. Go in there, and okay. After a few minutes pass, you wait, come back, and goes, huh, you're not gonna believe this, but yeah, he wants him in there. I don't know what this is about. Not worth my shit. Okay, fucking go ahead. Just head down straight to the throne room.
Appreciate
okay, thank
it.
You. as we walk past the guards, I kind of look over at Welcome like, eh?
So as you guys enter the massive, giant building
Jesus Christ.
of the fort, the marble-lined floors and halls as the guards are looking at you past, as they point towards you to go straight towards where the Lord's domain is.
Is it like just straight down the hall? Is that where they're
That's what
pointing?
they
Yeah,
told
they
ya.
said go straight.
Okay.
We'll just go straight. And when Otlus gives me that look, I'll concede to it with like a nod.
Okay, just kind of march. March. As I take in all of the scenery as I walk, like any like art pieces or like any symbols or details, just like, oh no, like in the
Well-
museum.
While Otlus does that, I keep an eye on more of the people that we go past and the guards.
Hey, well, you, Atlas, I won't bother making you roll a check for this, since you're just looking at basic. You kind of notice lots of various artworks, beautiful, like, styles of paintings, scenery, people, all over the place, a few statues. Wilcrum, in your case, roll me a perception check for the guards.
We're gonna have to fight our way out.
Hey, well, yeah, you notice that a lot of the guards around the place, you get a lot of odd looks. You notice some cleaning staff wandering around. Though, by the fact that you are now within the castle, most people seem to be accepting it to you. As the pair of you march in and make your way towards the thing, you find two more tougher-looking guards, and we're at the front with long swords and shields looking at you. Goes, hey, what do you all want here?
And we're just here to speak to the Lord.
Layman Stone Hollow.
Oh, yes, the Lord's waiting for you, just on the other side of the gate here, and they open the wide gate's door open.
Show us the maid.
Appreciated.
Is, did you say show us the maid?
Yeah, I want to see the maid.
We all know why he wants to see the maid.
There's your maid.
Oh my.
Alright, cool.
After you, lad.
Look at that look in her eyes. She's obviously evil.
So as you guys open up the
Yeah,
place,
well.
you find the small but powerful figure of the Lord sitting upon his throne, watching as a you can only imagine an elven slave woman is kind of doing a dance for him as he's just sitting there enjoying himself, eating grapes.
I get starstruck a little bit and blush, and then I snap out of it.
You.
Yeah.
Lad, you gotta focus. We're here for a reason.
Right.
Oh, it's you again, my friend! As he
Hi.
hops off of his throne, he's like, "Oh, please, miss, please, I'm done with you now. Just head back to your rooms." As the elven slave dips her head and runs and heads towards the stairs, up towards upstairs, leaving the area.
Hello, nice to see you again. And I go for a handshake.
Yeah, real quick, Heath, because, you know, in my backstory, I would have dealt with quite a few lords and stuff. Would I know the correct way to greet a lord?
The average lord prefers you to give them, like, a bow like you would a normal lord from a, like, medieval society. The fact that Atlas is going up and giving a handshake is rather odd, but as you do so, he looks at Atlas and goes, "Oh, very good," as he grabs Atlas by his hand and gives him a hearty handshake back. You, Welker, would know this is not proper.
Yeah. Well, I'm more talking about, title.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, just Lord? Okay.
Just Lord.
Well, we appreciate you seeing us such short notice, Lord.
Well, to be honest, I was actually planning to come visit you. It saved me a bit
Oh.
of a trip.
Isn't that fortuitous?
Yes, well, I've been having to wonder. There's been some oddities going on. I've heard that you apparently have requisitioned one of my ships to go on a journey.
Yes,
Yeah.
that we did.
I look over at Welcome, like, can I tell him with that face?
Heading down to
Yeah,
Zoolandis. Very interesting. I've got curiosity. Are you going there for business?
Well, on that note, the lad actually has something that he has to mention to you.
I look at him. I don't think we're in like the handshake anymore, but I look at him like a little bit like awkward
kinda
pain,
like-
and I'm like,
Folds his arms like a disapproving parent almost.
I kind of like, I have to confess, I'm so sorry. I just kind of was nervous when we first met at the store, and I'm not really the person that I said I was, and just thought it would sound cool, and I am a magical practitioner, and I kind of like
The
show
truth
him
of the
just, I
matter-
don't open it.
The truth of the matter is, we're just, well, regular mercenaries.
Well, I suppose I can't truly fault you on the idea of going about town. Though I find it odd that you would say, what about your slave you had?
She's just a fellow part of our group. The lad was just, in honesty, quite awestruck by you and your status.
It's true. I kind of scratched the back of my head. They kind of berated me later that I kind of demeaned one of our members
Well,
as a
I suppose
slave.
that would explain why a slave was committing rites.
Indeed, we actually, were, in surprising circumstances, ended up under the employ of Miss Eleanor for a moment, hence why she was asked to perform those rites.
Oh, I see. So you worked for Miss Eleanor. May I ask what you were doing for her?
Oh,
Well, we were escorting her back to ensure she came back safe. We, she was actually found up on the mountain with her previous escort all torn to shreds. Pure chance that we happened upon her.
Fascinating. And when did you happen to upon her?
Was some time ago.
I give him a rough estimate, not on when we found her on the mountain, and more like when we would be at the town.
I will have to speak to Miss Eleanor about this in more detail, I suppose. It's a fascinating story. I have been meaning to get around to chatting how she got down the mountain and all.
Yes. Although, not that I want to question your judgment, perhaps her and her family should have some time to grieve.
Well, exactly. Hence why I haven't been already, honestly.
Have you heard about the goings on at the graveyard recently?
Oh, dreadful business, I know. I have to admit that the bounty I did help place at the 250 gold to find any information.
Well, unfortunately, that's actually what we're here to talk about.
Oh dear, I'm surprised you came here to me for such a matter. The guild usually handles such matters themselves, but
Well, I also wanted to clear up what I said earlier.
And, we don't actually have any solid proof yet, just some advice that we think you should know.
Well, I'm listening.
It's probably best that the bodies get cremated instead of buried, if that's not like a social faux pas over here, just so they don't get,
So,
animated.
what we found
Wait,
is that the corpses were not taken, they were animated and broke themselves out.
Yeah.
Well, that seems
Where-
rather unlikely due to the rites.
Indeed, we're still investigating. We believe that culprit has found a circumvention. It seems that instead of being reanimated, it's more like they're being puppeted, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, it doesn't have any. And I go into magic jargon to appeal to his wizardy. knowledge base
Gotta
as I
scratch
explained the
his
whole
chin.
theory.
Well, that seems fascinating. A bit beyond me, I have to admit, though.
Yeah, they're still trying to figure out the nitty-gritty details, but that's what we have so far, so...
By the way, you
Yeah.
can both roll me an insight check if you don't mind.
Sure.
I love this! I'm good at this.
Atlas, you believe everything is so normal chatting with him. Wilcrum, you just kind of slightly gather, because it's a face you make yourself when Atlius goes off. He doesn't really seem to understand what the fuck Atlius is talking about.
Yeah. So as Otlius finishes his little spiel, I'll just chime in. Now, we don't mean to question your intelligence, and I'm sure you can make your own. I'm sure you can come to your own conclusions based off this information, but we'd just like to suggest that, perhaps to be safe, to avoid this happening again, it would be safest to cremate corpses instead of simply bury them.
I suppose for the time being, till this matter is cleared up, I could see about doing that. It's not like people die every day, though.
It's true.
Yes, that is obviously quite a rare occurrence, but
dead bodies too.
with potentially reanimated corpses about the town, as I'm sure your gods alerted you about last night, might be safest to prepare the practice and be ready to do that.
Or maybe even just burn the ones that are there, but that's a little bit sad for the... I guess
If
it'd
the
be better
manpower
if...
can be spared and the families would agree, it also might be a good idea.
To be honest, I doubt we'll be able to get away with such a thing. There'd be a lot of bodies to dig up and burn.
That's
I imagine it
true.
would be quite difficult.
I would
But-
suggest that rather than expending manpower on such a thing like that, it would make more sense to quickly find the culprit or culprits involved in this and take care of it that way.
Oh, I assure
to
you,
agree
we
with
are
that.
working on that.
Oh,
Yeah.
and also a bunch of other members of the guild because of your generous bounty.
Well, is there anything else you wish to ask of me?
Actually,
Or should I say ask of me in anything? So far you've come in here mostly with explanations and, for lack of better term, demands.
I wouldn't really say that. It's more like a recommendation, right? For the safety of your... well, everyone here.
Yes, Lord, we are not here to tell you how to run your town. Simply offer advice based on the information we found out. In matters as dire as this, I figure it's best for the Lord to know as soon as possible to make decisions.
Well, I had this information, some of this information given to me by the gods as well, since you did give them some of that worm for them to
Yeah.
look into. But you wanted to ask me something else. I'm assuming you didn't come here to tell me things that the gods would have probably told me already.
Well,
I
part of the
actually...
reason was to clear up the air. Possibly
Yeah,
layman.
from...
I see, and it took you 4 days to do this because...
I was so nervous. I didn't know how you'd take it.
And we were keeping ourselves busy as well. You know, mercenaries and all.
I see.
I do still really want to talk to you about magic, but I just thought that it'd be better if I just came to you just as I am rather than with that persona and keep it up.
Let's roll me a persuasion check.
Can I assist?
Nope.
Wait.
Come on, please. Damn it. 11.
He kind of looks at you with a raised eyebrow. Well,
It's fine if you don't want to, but
I suppose chatting is fine. I'm a little hurt at the lies. I'm also a little hurt that you decided to wait so long to tell me.
that's fair. Kind of just looks a little sullen.
I have to
But it's
also
kinda
admit
like,
I'm a little
that makes
disappointed
sense.
that you were not, in fact, having all these issues and such. But for the time being, I suppose I can be gracious enough to forgive.
Well, thanks.
We appreciate your great kindness, Lord.
Now, was there anything else you two wanted?
Glance at Olius and just see if it looks like he has anything else about.
Has anyone else, like, reported anything about the thing? The worms and stuff and the dead bodies? Just cause, and there's like almost a fire in Olius's eyes. I kind of want to win the 250 for our
Well,
party.
I mean, to be fair, if I told them information on that, I'd have to give them all your information as well, wouldn't I?
It's on. I look over
Well-
at Malcolm like, it's your turn.
I think that is all the time we'll take up for now, Lord, but if we resolve this in a timely manner, would you still be open to inviting us to discuss more of this magical talk that you are so fond of?
I suppose it'd be quite interesting. As I said, it's always interesting to meet my fellow caster of the arcane, so I would be fascinated to speak with you again, my friend.
Right, I
Well,
smile. A genuine
Thank
smile.
you very much for this short notice.
It is quite alright.
But I think we should take our leave. Still
Very
have
good.
quite a lot to do.
Yes.
Back to investigating.
Alright. And with that, you guys leave the Lord's Castle.
Yep.
I have heavy breathing as we walk away, like not in the throne room. Okay.
Okay.
That's dealt with.
I knew I should have gone the day after.
Yes, well, we weren't sure how he would react.
Did he have his book on him, or like did it? Or nah? Was he just like, I'm ready to lounge. I'm not here for work.
What book?
His spell book.
When did I ever say he had a spell book on him?
I'm just asked. That's what I'm asking.
No, he did not have a spell book on him.
Okay. That's all. I was just gonna judge him of the size of his book, you know, the girth of the pages.
Right, well, I suppose we may as well just wait for everyone else back at the inn.
Okay.
No point trying to chase after them. If they've left before us, we'll just end up losing them.
I hope they're okay.
Okay.
I'm sure they'll be fine.
Jump cuts to screams of horror.
Right?
Could be. Let's see.
Like the town's on fire. On
So,
the other.
yeah, you guys said you two were going separately, Alivor and Avalon.
Yeah.
You guys
If
are both separate,
if some
right?
combat arrives,
No, keep the Roman.
just let Dan play welcome if combat comes up.
Don't worry, I don't expect combat to come up before you. I'm not planning to expand the story fast. This
Now
little part
listen.
here for you.
There's a lot of things you haven't expected.
Well, we're down 2
Really?
players when you leave. And there's some pretty important plot stuff popping up. I don't want to miss too much, but we will continue the investigation.
Alright, well, yeah, I'm gonna jump off. I'll catch you guys next week, because work isn't screwing me over next week and fucking dropping shit on me out of nowhere.
Nice, Cam. And I'll and I'll get to you too with the when we start nailing down who we want for the Horde game.
Yep, sounds good to me. Alright,
Good luck, have
guys.
fun.
Enjoy the rest of your
See you,
nights
Yeah.
for most of you.
Okay.
Catch ya.
Like everybody but D-Rab is night.
Hey, Cam.
Wow.
And Heath, for a second there, I thought you said horror game, and I was really concerned.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's my Wednesday game where half of the guys I
Oh
play
my
with are straight up like fucking trying to fuck everybody in the party.
Jesus.
Oh my god!
Game of Thrones Horror Edition.
Yeah, it's not that far off,
Just
honestly. Two of the
A
players
normal
are
edition.
one player's literally
Yeah.
playing a character that wants to fuck everybody in the party.
Why?
Because that's the way they play for this character.
I
like that
have.
interested hum.
I think I know who it is.
You'd be wrong. It's
You don't know who I'm guessing.
Who are you guessing?
Zaku.
It is Zaku, yes. Though, the other person who was also making a character like that was, to nobody's surprise, Judah. But, besides that, let's get back. I guess we'll start with you, Dev, in the inn to see what you can
Yay.
gather.
The Lord's Gods break in. Initiative.
Yeah, mostly
Lord's
I'm
Gods
just gonna
break
be
in. Is
trying-
that a weed?
I'm mostly gonna be trying to like eavesdrop on conversations.
Okay, so you're gonna try to do the eavesdropping route. Roll
Yes.
me a perception check, and I'll say Kiori is helping you, so it can be at advantage.
Okay.
Oh.
Hey.
It's not like Kiori
Boy.
needed to assist. Okay, so with a nat 20, I will say you are easily pick up quite a lot of great conversations. Most of the conversations you pick up around the area are very things you hear some of the people talking about, like the nasty disgustingness of how the zombie attack that occurred last night had some people set a bit on edge. You hear one person talking about there was this strange prostitute apparently working at town that old Jim was talking about. That seemed very awkward.
Okay.
Like I said, you pick up every conversation with an at 20. The most important conversation you do pick up is you hear about the guards mentioning that they have been kind of on high alert, searching down strange movements in one slum of the town.
Do they note like a direction? Like, do they mention like a particular like district name I could pick up?
It's the slums.
Like north, south, anything?
The slums are in one part of the town to the north. I mean,
Okay.
you just know where the slums are. Yeah, there's only one slums in the city. It'd be kind of
So
like
it's
Actually, I guess
peculiar movement or activities.
I was going to finish. Is
Okay.
what you did here is that you reported people viewing a strange movements going around town of people hearing weird sounds late at night, and strange lights occasionally flashing off in not hallways, in alleyways. People have reported the sign of a person in a brown robe being seen covered up. That has been people have been worried there's a thief casing joints in the area.
Okay.
That is the majority of what you hear that would be relevant. Apart from that, you just hear lots of normal bar talk.
Any specificness on the area? Or is it just the area?
It's the slum area. They don't give you... They're not like going into super details. They're just talking about the rumors, right?
Yeah, because this is where they live. They don't really
Yeah.
need to go into detail.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just thinking.
yeah, they talk about the slums, and the guards just basically talking about some of the stuff they've been hearing. They didn't get any real specific details. You would have to approach to get more than that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm good. Other than that, if there is time, I'd like to try and bless my bow again.
Sure, I'll say you got time to do that. You can roll me another D100. Not really feeling it today, unfortunately. As you try to bless your bow and do the normal religious canters of it, the image of Kiori licking a worm keeps coming to your mind, distracting you, preventing you from concentrating on your prayers.
Okay, realistic though.
Insert moment of shuddering.
Yeah.
The gods will not save you from that image.
Yeah, there are just things that are disturbing you.
But I can dream.
Yes, about curious looking worms.
An image like this.
Oh god.
But in any case, though, you were unable to focus your get the bow to be your focus today.
Okay.
Anything else you needed to do, or is that it for you, Tel?
That is all for me.
Okay, so back into the
I
streets.
got my notes.
With the two of you going separate, who wants to go first in their little jaunt through town?
Archon, you can go first.
Okay.
Okay, pick a section of the town you want to jaunt through. Just draw a circle.
You draw the circle around the whole town.
Everything. Okay, so this is just general. Is this the slum area?
Well,
Around
you
here?
don't know about the slums, so I'm not going to
No,
tell you.
I don't. I don't. I'm wondering, like, I don't know the layout of
the
the town.
ritzy part of town is here. The docks are over here. These are general areas that you've seen. You don't, but as far as the slums go, you don't know the specific area which is considered the slums.
Alrighty, and the place where we met the old man and Kiro did her thing.
Pardon?
Oh, the like prostitution guy, creepy.
Yeah,
guy?
yeah.
Oh, you're trying to go back to the old guy?
I just generally want to know where in the town his area is.
He would actually be around the dock area, around this area, because that's where you had bumped in through the dock thing. So it's around this.
Alright. Yeah. If this is like the noble area, I'm definitely not going here. What's this area? I know.
Yeah,
What
so
is
basically the inner wall is the noble area.
this? Got it. Alright, so
Noble
I'll generally
shops,
be
noble
staying.
areas. The outer wall is kind of the people area.
Yeah, so I'll be all around the area, not down to the docks because who knows what's over there. But yeah, just more or less anywhere that isn't the noble area because I know I don't fit in there.
Okay, so basically the area you're going for is around here.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay.
That works for me.
So what are you going for specifically again? You said you wanted to look for the zombies and what?
Look for zombies. Generally kind of listen in here if there are any rumors because I don't know to tell if I got a nat 20. Generally just kind of look busy, look for odd jobs.
Okay, so roll me a survival for looking for the zombies. You can't do everything at once, so we'll do this one at a time. So
it's just in my plans, whatever happens.
okay, so roll me a survival check to see if you can track down any signs of these zombies. So you look through town. You do not have an easy time looking for any sort of zombies anywhere, or tracks. Unfortunately, you can't seem to pick up anything that would indicate that the creatures that attacked you from the night before are anywhere around.
Okay.
Or signs of them. And you said you wanted to look for see if you can find rumors?
Yeah, listening for rumors and
So are you
find,
just listening
like,
in on conversations, or are you talking to people to try to gather information? 'Cause those are
listening
very different.
in on conversations. I
Okay,
don't do
you can roll me a perception check at disadvantage because you're in a huge area and you don't know what conversations to listen for.
it. Fair enough.
Okay, of 18. Unfortunately, you don't gather a lot of info from basic just walking around listening. You do gather that you do overhear one conversation of interest about people who were cleaning up the zombie gore from the fight before. Yeah, kind of like two street workers who's like, man, it was fucking horrible. I mean, there's just guts everywhere, and like these fucking like little worm things stopped moving around. I don't know what the fuck they were, but I don't know, man. It made me lose my lunch. Poor Fred, man. Speaking of lunch, I gotta clean up Fred's shit too, man. He was in the corner.
Alright.
Nothing significant,
worthwhile.
unfortunately. It's a difficult thing to do by just wandering around a huge area and
Fair
hoping to
enough.
listen into something.
Fair enough.
And you said you wanted to look for odd jobs?
Yeah.
That is going to require you to interact with people,
That
so
is-
I
yes.
will need a... let's just call it a straight charisma check.
Wonderful.
Hardcore rolls a 2.
About what I expected.
So, sabotage him. You have to see the person for that to occur anyways.
I know.
As you start walking around Archon and try to ask people for jobs, people look at you, freak the fuck out, and as you approach, they walk the fuck away.
You know, I should have.
As you
You
do
just
not have the
shrugged.
most friendly and open demeanor, but for shits and giggles, I will say you do run across this one elderly old lady who seems to be trying to pick up a crate of apples.
Aww.
She's got like these big, thick spectacles. She's about like 5'3", kind of stumped, kind of like trying to lift up this big box of apples.
He just kind of sighs, takes a breath. He just walks up, arms crossed, just kind of looking as close as possible. Hey, excuse me.
Ah, what's that? Oh, hell, oh, it's didn't see you there, Sonny. And she kind of looks over. She gathers as she kind of like you. As she kind of moves her bifocals, looking at you. She can kind of
Yeah.
make out shapes and doesn't realize anything. He's like, oh, you're a big fella, aren't you, Sonny?
Yeah, I hear that a lot.
You spoke the name.
What?
You realize only 2 people here get that joke.
Those are the only 2 that need to get it.
Sonny?
Actually, 1 person here gets the joke besides me. Yeah, D-Rab knows what he's talking about.
Oh, okay.
Just a previous character.
Okay.
Oh
What?
my! Hi. Oh, can I help you?
It's nothing. Just saw you struggling.
Oh, would you be so kind? And she kind of looks. I have so much trouble with my back these days. If you could just lift this basket up for me, it'd be appreciated.
Sure. I got nothing better to do.
Okay, so you pick up the basket. Oh, please, just this way. She kind of like with her cane walks over towards this little house, opens up the door. Oh, it's always difficult to find the right key. And she starts taking like this key ring. It's like, oh no, not that one. No, that's for the. Oh, that's my underwear drawer. It's like, oh, there we are. Clicks the house. Clicks the door open.
Just kind of winces and scowls a little.
Okay,
That's
just inside. Watch your head. And she kind of like slowly, shakily walks towards into the house.
Yeah, kind of stoop.
He's walking. You see this like very modest, basically kind of looks like what would be a almost like a studio apartment house. This is one open room with everything in there. If you'd be so kind as to place the apples on the table there, Sonny, that'd be so helpful.
Yeah, alright. I do that. Place him down.
She watches as you place it down. She goes, "Oh, you are such a good lad. Here, you deserve something." And she grabs your hand and like shakily puts her hand and puts 2 copper coins into your big meaty claws. Thank you so much. Why don't
Does
you
her
go buy yourself some nice candy?
does her expression change at all when she feels my claw?
You gather that funnily enough, her hands are so old and leathery, you're not sure whose hands are
Oh.
rougher.
She's got severe arthritis. Oh shit. Yeah. You be well.
Oh, such a good lad. Boy, did he have a big one. Though it was in the wrong spot. You hear her mutter as she walks away.
I kind of just face palms you. How the fuck did she see that?
It was in the wrong spot.
I kind of just takes a breath, takes another one, then just like opens the doorknob like between two claws so he doesn't crush the thing and leave.
Okay, and as you leave, that will be your day of reckoning and information gathering.
He just kind of like steps out, and as he goes walking by, he just goes, "What the fucking hell?"
Anyways, Avalor, what are you up to?
I'm going towards this side of town.
Okay. And what?
Actually, curiously enough, do we know where Yevon settled down?
Nobody technically asked, but I'd say it'd be a quick way to find it. You can find out quickly enough.
I'm gonna go check on Yevon and his family.
Okay.
If I can ascertain where they ended up.
Sure, just roll me, I'll give you an investigation at advantage.
It helped.
Mood.
Okay,
I'm a talker, not an investigator.
I will say after hours and hours of talking and looking around, you do eventually find Yevon's home. As you walk in there, you find this nice little shack that was built up where he sees kind of like a new painted sign swinging up top of it called Yevon's Soul.
I will gently knock on the door.
Yes, who is it?
It's me. Open up.
Oh, hello! it's been a while, my friend. Hey, come in. As he opens up the door, as he lets you in, as you see...
Yevon's dead number 2. Sorry.
Do I feel like Gandalf in a halfling home at the moment?
A little. It's a bit bigger than that, but it's still a little smaller than an average home.
I will walk over towards... Do they have furniture?
Yes, they have furniture.
I will sit down near their table, because their chairs are a little...
Yeah, their chairs would actually be quite tiny, because to them it'd be like sitting at a kid's table.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit in one of those chairs. I'm just going to sit on the floor. Where exactly in the town is he?
Actually, oddly enough, he was close to where you were going.
Okay.
Yes, he was in the, this is kind of the business district where you found him.
Yevon.
Yes, Alvor, what is it?
Have you landed on your feet here?
Oh, yeah. I have to admit, everything's been going quite nice ever since we got here. Miss Eleanor has been quite nice setting me up in this little place to set up my little shoe shop and get everything together. The missus and I and the kid have been, just been wonderful.
That's good.
I mean, you're not here for old times, are you, right? Everything's good?
Yeah, I had a question. I've been in and out since the mountain. Actually, ever since we got off the mountain, I would say.
I kind of remember you kind of passing out there for a few days. A little worried about you there.
Yeah, it happened again, and I ended up missing out on a fight with some zombies from this graveyard.
As you just say that, he just looks horrified.
Oh, I've missed Yevon.
Zombies?
It gets worse,
I
Yevon.
miss them too.
Worse?
Yeah. Eleanor's brother was, I guess for lack of a better term, Subject Zero.
What? Subject. Wait, you're saying Eleanor's little brother was the first zombie?
From what I've been told, that's kind of what I gather.
One sec. He just kind of sits down. 1 minute. He kind of wanders off and he comes back with like a pot of coffee and just pours himself a cup and you a cup and his hands like jittering and shaking. Okay.
I'm sure it's nothing to be. I have a plan. I'm sure it's nothing to really be concerned about since you're in a walled city now, but if you see anybody walking around shambling, just kind of out of it and delirious, don't let them near your house.
Good advice. Don't let zombies in the house. Thank you, Eleanor, for the warning. You want 1 lumps or 2?
2, please. I know that you're the kind of guy who, quite frankly, you're too good for this country. You would go out of your way to help somebody, and I don't want you to make that mistake, thinking somebody you know is just sick or just overly drunk.
That's fair. I suppose I do tend to stick my nose out for people, but I do have fairly good vision in the dark, and I think someone decaying in rags of death would probably be a warning, but I do appreciate the heads up for it.
Well, you see, that's the thing. They're not your typical zombie, from what I understand. They're controlled by worms.
Not more bugs.
Yeah, that's Teleth's sentiment too.
Worm zombies.
Apparently they have the ability to infect other deceased individuals, so you might see folks walking around who have been recently killed, say by one of these zombies, and they may not look like they just came right out of a grave.
Are you saying these zombies can reproduce?
It's a theory.
I just want to make shoes. Why? He's just gonna sip his coffee. Oh God.
Oliver will just kind of give a, yeah, I know, kind of a look towards him and just pat him on the shoulder.
Just okay, I'm okay. I'll be okay. We escaped the mountain and fought ladies of frost and death and horrible 6-armed creatures that almost tore us in half and vicious creatures of swirling fey death and
exactly.
We'll be fine. It's just zombies. I mean, it's not worse than that. So.
Well, by all by all rights, they told me they were pretty easy to take down.
Okay.
So there's
they don't
some
explode
comfort
like
in that
orcs,
fact.
right?
I don't think so.
Okay. Okay. I think I'm
So-
gonna have the kids stay home from I think I'm gonna have the boys stay home from school.
Perhaps you should homeschool them.
Probably for the best at the time.
You might be better off in the long run. You don't know what they're teaching kids in schools these days, after all.
I suppose so. But it's important to learn social skills too. But it's okay. It's okay. I mean, right now Rose is off with Clarice at the shop, shopping. Oh boy.
I'm sure it'll pass within a month or so, but I just wanted to make sure you're aware of it.
Okay, that's great. I thank you a lot for that.
Plus, I needed to know where you lived.
Oh,
In case I need to ever write you a letter or anything.
Good, glad you gave me the thoughts, Elmore. It's very appreciative.
Maybe someday we'll find a nicer place. You can move there.
By the way, did you guys ever get a hold of that boat you were after?
Yes, well, kind of.
Well, that's at least something good. When are you guys leaving?
3 days.
Oh,
We're staying at the inn now, though. So if you wish to see everybody one last time, well, you got 3 days.
Oh, that's very
Kiori
nice.
is back.
Oh, she is. That's nice. So I thought she was
Yeah,
going back home to her family.
I'm not sure what happened, and quite honestly, I'm very curious on how she got here so fast.
Who knows? Miss Kiori's an odd one.
Because it took us like 2 weeks to get here, and I think she went the opposite direction.
I suppose it would depend when she's turned around.
Perhaps. But either way, be careful of worm zombies.
Okay.
The guard is aware of it, and they have a lot of mercenaries and bounty hunters running around trying to solve it. So, like I said, I don't think it'll be an issue for you. But, you know,
okay.
the knowledge might save you.
I do appreciate it. I will keep that in mind. Is there anything I can do for you apart from that?
How many days does it take you to make shoes?
I could get a pair done in under a day, generally.
Can I have you make us some nice shoes?
I'm sure. I just did it. Who's us?
Everybody but Archon. I don't think he wears shoes.
Oh, I could probably do that. I just need everybody's sizes.
Right, well, I'm a size 12.
Okay. Takes out a little ledger and puts that in there. Width?
Yeah, I give them. They're wide. I got wide feet.
So D.
12 wide, yeah. Don't really know about anybody else.
Okay, well, if you want to get everybody's shoe sizes for me, I can put them together and get you guys some nice shoes put together. What size shoes are you looking for? Dress, or travel,
Travel.
Okay.
We're going to the jungle.
Oh, okay. I think I actually could get you a pair of good shoes for that. You want them to breathe, but good sole grips, waterproof.
Exactly. I've heard plenty of stories from my old mercenary days of people getting stuff like foot fungus and gangrene and the like, and I want to avoid that.
I'll get you guys some good shoes then. Just come back later with everybody's foot sizes, and I'll get them right away.
Wonderful. Well, thanks for the coffee.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna continue to look for any of these stragglers.
Oh, that's okay. Wait, stragglers?
Well, I told you about the zombies for a reason. If we had eliminated them all, then I wouldn't have even brought it up.
Okay. Do you think they're around here?
I don't know.
Okay. You just see him gotta leave the room again, come back with some 2x4s, nail, and a hammer. I'll see you later, Alivor.
Yes, have a good night.
You too.
Give the missus my regards.
I will.
And your son as well.
Thank you.
And I'll be back with those shoe sizes later.
Okay. And as you leave Alivor, you just start hearing the hammer boom, 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 boom. And you look behind you to see boards being done up on his windows.
Should I have told him? Yeah, I should have told him. I did the good thing. He'll think to himself and head off. And then I'll look
Rose
for
is
Zom.
gonna go off.
Okay, that took out a large chunk of your day finding his place. So I'll say for the zombie, you can roll me a survival check.
Amazing.
So as you go out for a zombie survival, you're positive you found a zombie as you start finding these tracks and you start huddling down to the dirt in the dales and you come across, and as you come across this alley where you take your blade out ready to face this zombie down and find it and kill one of these worm zombies, you find an old drunk wino just going, "Hey there!"
Greetings. I'll slowly hide my weapon and desummon it. Thought you were some gambler that owed me money. Sorry to bother you.
Don't think I owe you any money, mister.
I think you might be right. Perhaps you should lay off the wine a little bit.
Good stuff, though.
Thins the blood, makes you feel warm, but then you get really cold later.
Kinda stuff, but you don't care.
I mean, it's your life, your choice.
Huzzah!
Have a good night.
You
I'll head
too.
back to the inn.
Thank you, Avalon. I'm assuming you were talking about my wino impersonation.
Yes. Yes, I am. Give you a round of applause for that one.
Boy, I'm glad you guys are rolling such shitty stuff so I can come up with ridiculous things to
Right?
make why the shit happened.
Yeah, I'm kind of okay with this.
Okay, so you guys head back to the inn and you regather yourselves.
Talitha Atlius,
Hmm?
I need your foot sizes.
What?
What?
I kind of like shrink away, like, what for?
Get your minds out of the gutter. I visited Yevon today.
Oh, how is he?
Well, he was better, and now he's armed with knowledge. But that's besides the point. I have him making us some shoes for the jungle.
Mind the
okay.
scene?
What's that?
Sorry, Heath, am I in the scene?
Yeah, you guys have all gone
Mhm.
back.
Oh, where's
What's
this
your
live?
shoe size, Archon?
No idea, especially not in human terms.
Yeah, Archon, I opted for you to not get shoes because I don't think you wear them.
Not normally. That guy talks him up so much, I might as well try him.
Well.
Just tell me where he lives, I'll be over myself.
I give
I
him
don't think that's a good idea.
I give him the direction. Now I'm just thinking of Archon and clown shoes because his feet are so big.
Oh my god!
Secret reason why Elka wants to do this, he wants to see Yevon take on the challenge of like a 3-clawed shoe. See how he does.
Anyway, I told
Size 5?
I told Yevon about the zombies.
How do we ask?
Yeah, how well
But
did that go?
It was like we were on the mountain again.
So, you kind of re-traumatized him?
I wouldn't say he's traumatized, but he's probably paranoid at this point.
Did he do anything?
However, I'd rather. Yeah, he boarded up his window.
Yep,
Oh.
there it is.
Wow, alright.
But
At least
to
he's-
be honest, I would rather him be paranoid than dead.
Fair. Bad for his heart, though.
Oh, he's young. He'll be fine.
So is it like dress shoes? Is it like a parting gift from?
They're for the jungle atlas.
Yeah, they're going to be
Oh.
breathable and waterproof so we don't get gangrene.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I hate wearing shoes, but I will wear them if it stops me from, getting gangrene.
Really? What's wrong with you?
I guess he doesn't wear shoes. I didn't think of that. Because he's a halfling.
Yeah, most halflings don't.
Why they don't wear shoes?
They
It's
got
just-
big, wide feet, but I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
Yeba can make a pair of shoes. It's not just gangrene you have to worry about. There could be poisonous thorns or something of that matter. I'm not so worried about Archon. He's got thick scales. But
Yeah, I know. I get it. I'm just saying. It's probably why I'm unsure what my shoe size is. I kind of just like grabbed a pair, and it's probably the
Although
reason why Arlius waddles at the mountain.
I suppose if all you do is walk barefoot, your soles are pretty tough.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can tell him to not make you shoes if you don't want shoes.
Hmm. Do you have to maintain shoes? Like, clean them and stuff?
Not
Yes.
typically, unless you're wearing dress shoes or you want to impress somebody, or perhaps you got particularly dirty and you just want to maintain them a little bit to keep them from degrading, but something like that would take a while.
I'll get shoes. Why not? When in Port Frost.
Very well.
I'd rather not regret having the option that I had shoes when we go to jungle. Maybe I won't wear them, and I'll just wear them when we like go exploring, things like that.
Hey, works. I would also ask Kiori and Welcome their shoe sizes.
Yeah, I figured that would just be an auto.
So, we went to talk to the Lord.
Alright, how'd that go?
Yeah.
It went alright. He was disappointed I lied to him. Kind of cleared the air a bit about that. Still didn't really correct our names, just because, And he seemed alright with the idea of cremating the bodies.
That's good.
And I think he really knows what what he's talking about with magic, because I told him all the things about, and then I re-explained it to them in as dense wizard jargon as I can.
Once again, everybody is confused but Kiori.
Wait. Okay.
Rakan's eye is just kind of unfocused.
Welcome's probably
I keep
like-
up for half of it.
Volcrum
Well, but
looks
just
towards
gives it
everyone, like
very
shakes his
nod.
head like,
At some point, Alibor looks over at Talitha, just smile and nod.
Yep.
though he
Basically what
was
he's doing.
he was aware of the whole our business with the ship, so at least we know that information like that gets to him.
Well,
Like,
that-
It's not
actually,
surprising. They are his ships.
but like, and there was this very attractive dancer there. I could see why. Never mind.
Oh no. Continue.
I don't
Shouldn't
think I
have
need
said
to.
I think you do.
Yeah, I think it's something quick.
I can see why. Don't put it that way.
I'm sorry, I don't speak mumble. You want to speak up?
Oh, I thought it's you clearly you heard me though.
Mm-hmm.
So it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying that it's a compliment to be scouted. I'm just gonna shut up now.
I also have some news, but I would prefer to speak of it upstairs.
Good idea.
Upstairs where Oliver plays with his bone sword.
Exactly.
Alias, aren't you in enough trouble?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
That kind of sounds.
Yeah, Talda's gonna make her way to the stairs.
When we get to this, I add that also I don't think anybody else has gone as far as we have in terms of the guild thing.
No, but still.
So you guys head upstairs to your rooms where you can speak in private.
Okay, I'm just thinking it's
Because
more.
it is.
Alright, what's.
I spent most of my day eavesdropping, and I overheard some guards. Apparently, the slums has been. There's been some strange movements, lights, and our dear robed friend seems to be scouting out buildings.
Where are the slums?
Sounds more like a ordinary thief.
That's what they believe that he is. Or she. I don't really know.
Either way, good to know.
Lights? Like somebody's. Like how when we're fighting, there's a lot of lights happening because of all
How
of our
many?
energy.
How many of those zombies got away?
The
None of them
ones,
got away
the
from
pack
the
that
fight.
attacked us, none of them got away. But there
I'm sure.
wasn't the full amount of how many came out of the graveyard.
Like I
So
said,
some
of
had
them are
already
real
left.
fresh.
Yeah, they're not like in a pack or anything.
Well, they might be, but
It's
there's
more
gotta
we
be
don't
more
know
than
where
one
those
pack.
last few are.
The thing I'm worried about is if they reproduce via these worms. We don't know if they can do it with people alive. I ran
That
into
is
a drunk
weird.
because honestly I thought he was one of them. But if somebody's out of their mind drunk and one of these zombies comes up, they're an easy target. These things can probably reproduce pretty fast, so things can spiral out of control quickly.
So you didn't
So what?
make the mistake and kill him, did you?
No.
Oh, good.
I am more of a ask first, act later kind of a person.
I kind of shrugs
Okay.
his shoulders.
I think before I attack. Normally.
I kind of
They
raised
do
his
seem
eyebrow.
to.
Does Archon have eyebrows to raise?
Not really.
He raises his whole head.
What do you think the up nods are? Yeah, what were you saying?
I do think that these reproduce quite like quick. If there's like a whole nest of them in all of the bodies, when we only saw like a line.
A worm
Came
net
out.
pile of bodies. That'd be fun.
Was Billy's body among the ones you fought?
No,
No.
I checked specifically.
So the presumed host of all these worms is out there missing.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, good thing we leave in 3 days.
It's true, I guess that won't be a problem. But then we
No,
won't
man.
actually have the
That
money.
doesn't mean that we need to get lazy on this either.
We need the
No,
money.
that's not what I'm saying. That gives us a good timeline.
I'm thinking, you want some social favor, you want people to follow you. Saving lives is a good way to do it.
3 days.
It's up to you.
If we can't get this fixed in 2, then we're gonna be in trouble. Honestly, we probably already are in trouble as far as
Yeah.
these zombies go. But they're as easy to take out. Well, then again, Billy, he might not be so easy.
He's the host.
They have 2 days left.
I can
Then
take him
we're dead.
easy.
So we would go to the slums tomorrow? Tonight?
Sounds
Tonight.
like it.
Yeah, tonight.
I say tonight because these noises, movements, lights have all been late at night.
Good.
Okay.
Well, then What time of day is it right now?
You're looking at dinner time.
Food time.
To like 5,
Well,
6 p.m.
I suggest everybody eat, and then perhaps we can get 5 hours of rest in.
Alright.
Okay.
Maybe 6, but that might be pushing it.
Don't get tapeworms in your dinner.
I think I'm gonna go over to Yevon. So you know, in case I go missing or some shit.
That's a good
Okay.
idea. If you're gonna leave and go somewhere, let one of us know.
I feel like, aren't you just gonna scare the living crap out of him?
Yep.
Why would you do that? I don't think you need to go.
I never said I was gonna do it on purpose.
Okay.
Told him I couldn't do it on purpose.
I will say, he does make a pretty decent cup of coffee.
Uh-oh.
Doesn't seem impressed.
I feel that. I'm more of a tea guy myself, but that's neither here nor
Alright.
there.
I'll write that down. Oliver's a tea guy.
But does he teabag?
I don't know.
Aww.
I draw a cup of tea.
Here's your
I
creativity.
write tea. Say Oliver. On the tag.
It's his mailbox signature move.
Oh my god. Damn, you broke her.
Okay, Alvor, so you're, Archon, you're heading down to go see Yevon, eh?
I'm headed
Maybe
down
I
to
should
this.
go with you.
Didn't you say you didn't want shoes?
Well, I said that I want shoes just so that if I need to wear them, I have them for the jungle.
Alright.
I'll go with, because I don't know my shoe size.
Makes sense. So, Otlius and Archon, you guys go out to go see Yevon. Anybody else doing anything?
Talitha, do you want to go see Yevon?
Oh.
I'd love to actually.
I'll leave my owl. Summon Lou. I'll leave my owl on whoever would be staying.
No, for the purpose of
think-
this, it'd be Welcome and Kiori and Alivor, as Alivor is joining.
No, I'll go with.
Okay. I'll
Oh, yeah.
leave
Sure,
my
let's
owl
make it a
with
fucking party.
Welcome. Leave my owl with Welcome. And if something bad happens, I tell you, if something bad happens and Welcome tells you to go find me. Do it.
It's better if the two not here get kidnapped than two.
Oh no!
Here we go.
That's what you get for leaving session.
That's okay. When Nano misses sessions, he just sleeps with his bone sword.
And we make jokes.
Okay, so the four of you guys head off to go see Yebin's home again.
How boarded up did he get it?
It's pretty much solid boarded up at this point.
Holy
This looks
shit, dude.
abandoned.
You know, a part of me wants to play a prank, but I won't.
Absolutely not.
You know, I'm kind of into it.
No!
I'm also kind of into it.
Icon
Oh,
tries
God,
to stifle a
urge.
laugh. Okay,
Oh,
serious.
Horrible.
Look, if I don't tell them, they won't be able to pull the prank.
Icon walks up to the door.
Okay, so you walk up to the door.
I hide behind Archon
He just kind of like looks down at him, rolls his
with my
eyes.
thing.
Tap, tap, tap.
Okay, so you tap on the door, you just hear, who is it?
It's us.
Oh! Mr. Archon, I recognize your voice.
I jump out. From behind Archon.
The door's still closed.
He hasn't...
I can hide back.
Never tell sex.
So, Archon, as you hear lock, like, sounds like 5 different locks being unlocked on the door.
I kind of like look over at Oliver. How did he get that many locks?
You
You know, that's
technically
pretty impressive.
still have your first stealth check, D-Rab.
Okay, cool.
As he opens up the door, goes, "Oh, Mr. Archon, it's good to see you again."
Ah!
Do you pop out and do that?
Yes.
Okay. What's your
I'm
AC?
gonna... right. 13.
Okay!
Oh my
You
god,
take
yes,
8 points of damage as you did not notice he was carrying a crossbow in his arms, and when you pop out, he's like, ah! And just shoots it right into your leg.
And this is why we don't
Ow.
do pranks. Hello,
What's
Yevon.
the attack? Can I shield it?
Holy shit, that's amazing!
It was a surprise, so no.
That's okay. 8, do you say?
You take 8 points of damage, yeah. It just shoots you with a
Ow.
crossbow.
You're
Hey,
getting the
Yevon.
crossbow, Yevon! Nice! Good work!
Hey,
Pull
Yevon,
the
how you
bolt
doing?
out!
You know, Alice, this is why I didn't pull a prank.
Oh, Mr. Hotlius, I'm so sorry. You scared
No, it's
me.
fine! It's fine! I cover my bleeding. It's fine, Yevon. Honestly.
Yeah, no, the chick's totally gonna heal it, ain't ya?
I'm just glad you're prepared.
I'll think about it.
I don't need it.
I'm sorry about that. I'm so sorry. It's just, you kind of freaked me out.
Don't be. No, it's okay. I go to hug him. Make sure I don't get blood on him.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are all back. There's nothing wrong, is there? Some zombies around here,
No.
not back here because of
No.
monsters.
No.
No.
I just don't know my shoe size. I look
Oh.
over at Alward, then at Yebin.
Oh,
You
okay.
did promise us shoes. All of us.
Of course. Yeah. Come in.
Ow.
Icon just kind of like steps aside and lets everybody enter first to see kind of.
Oh,
This is basically what
I
happened
look
here.
back and.
See from Zombieland where you get shit. That's my bad.
My bad.
I will wait until. Well, not wait, but when I walk in, I look back at the door and wait for Archon to enter, just so I can take in the funny side of him trying to fit through doors.
Yeah, I imagine like in this home, I'm practically bent over double.
Yeah, you're
Almost.
It's about 6. I mean, it's not that short. It's about like
Just the furniture.
6 to 7 foot tall ceiling.
That's about crouched, honestly. No, actually, yeah, just a bit hunched.
It's fun.
Yeah, I mean, you honestly, unless you're like 8 feet tall, your head would be scraping the ceiling kind of
Yeah,
style.
I'm 7. Yeah, fair enough. I just gotta watch out for the beams.
I
Yeah.
get a bit disappointed that it's not as funny as I thought it was gonna be.
Again, this isn't like a halfling home built thing. This was kind of a normal, like kind of a, because you know, again, it's a multicultural halfling human. Most halfling homes have to be able to fit the average human.
Fair enough. So, like, a little smaller than typical, but not by much.
Yeah, it smells at half the height. It's only like a, you know, it's like I said, the average ceiling is 10 feet. These ones are about 7 feet.
Yeah, fair.
So you have to be a stupid tall human to find it. Like you'd have to be bumping your head.
Yeah.
It's good to see you. Okay, well, okay, why don't you sit down on that stool there, Mr. Archon and Mr. Atlius, and I'll get your shoe sizes readied out.
Okay, sure. I sit down happily on the stool and wait for Archon to sit down. Or attempt to.
Is there more than one stool?
Yeah, he's got multiple stools.
Yeah.
No.
That's...
Do I notice the look Atlius has given me?
Yes. I make no attempt to hide it. I'm like,
Test
yeah.
it first, Archon.
What
Yeah.
do you think I was doing? Kind of test the stool for a sec. Kind of put a claw down on it.
How much do you weigh?
I don't push. I
No, I'm just curious, how much do you weigh?
over 300 pounds at least.
Okay, so,
320, let's say. 320, 340, so.
so you notice that it definitely buckles, but looks like it would support.
Alright. Kind of squat to sit. But, go ahead, Atlius. Whatever the hell you're planning.
Oh, nothing. I just turn, I get my book and quill, and I rapidly sketch
Oh, that.
a big Archon sitting on a small stool.
You probably get a pose like the Thinker in that fucking case, because he's kind of.
Well, in any case,
Sketch.
Yevon comes around the corner with his stubs and starts measuring your guys' feet. Oh, okay, so let's see what we got here. Oh, it's big feet here. And, you know, I always wanted to try to make it shoes for a dragonborn. That'd be interesting.
I thought you'd be up to the challenge.
Kind of measures each. Reinforcements. He starts muttering under his breath. Tough leather for the bottoms. Steel toe would probably be good for the tips of the claws.
I kind of glances down at that and like internally just wow. Like
As he looks over, he's like, hey, individual toes to give each freaking spot, each claw. Like, he starts measuring your claw toes out next. He's like, he's got like a little notepad out, writing down each measurement. Okay, I think I got everything I need.
Wow, you work fast. I haven't even finished drawing his snout yet.
Well, it's just measurements.
Yeah, it'll take me probably, I'll have these things ready for you by the time you guys are ready to leave for your trip. Miss
Cool.
Did you want me to shoes as well?
Yes, please. I'm a size 7 slim.
Okay, he writes it down there. What are you looking for your shoes?
It's the same as for the jungle.
Okay, he puts notes down there and licks his quill pen and writes in it. Okay, I think I'll have it all ready for you. It's good to see you again, Miss Telfa.
It's good to see you too, Pippin. Despite Atlius's prank.
but trust me, he's gonna say it that when he's done.
What?
I thought it was funny.
Thank you.
Not gonna be funny when I'm done.
In that case,
And if anything, it just goes to show that Yevon's pretty good with defending his family with the crossbow.
You passed the test, Yevon.
Yeah.
okay, Rose and Clarice are in the back if you're curious.
How did she take with you boarding the windows?
She was very confused, but I was able to convince her, and she thinks I might be being a little overcautious, but I'm freaking the hell out. I'm not gonna lie.
Tell the Torley is gonna go and play with Clarice.
Oh, you gotta go play with Clarice. So you walk in the back, you
Hell
see
yeah.
Rose is in the back with Clarice. They're kind of like doing a little patty cake game.
Aww.
Aw.
Oh, Clarice, you're... Talitha, you're back here.
Just to visit.
Oh, it's always good to see you. You get to play a little Clarice as well.
Mm-hmm.
Clarice, why don't you go over and say hi? And you see Clarice kind of get up and kind of waddle over to you. He's like, detail! And just comes up and hugs you around your freaking knee due to the fact that he's only like a half foot tall.
Talitha's gonna crouch down, give him a hug. Where's your ball?
Kind of like looks over and kind of runs over to like a little toy trunk he has and pulls out the little ball.
He will play with the ball.
Clarice just like starts rolling it to you to play catch.
Oh.
Alright, anybody else got anything as Tell is enjoying her ball time with Clarice?
I got nothing. Just listening to Yevon talk if he wants.
Yeah, I admire his cobbler jogging.
Well, as you see him kind of like making notes and getting the leather out. So, you guys are all heading down to, well, I'm assuming Zoolander, since I heard you're going to the jungles.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotta be a bit of a tough go. Any idea where you're planning to head down there?
I look over at Archon.
I don't know. He's the guy with the plan. Kind of stupid Alivor.
I look at Alivor.
Ideally, Elvendrosa, but I have a feeling things aren't going to be so simple as soon as we land in Zoolandis.
Well,
I'm sure we'll get dragged into some shitter
That's
some
Draconic.
conspiracy.
Getting Eldrosa through Zoolanda's gotta be a bit of a trip. You gotta go through 2 entire countries to get there. 3 if you
I
count
was thinking of
Zoolandis
another
itself.
Thinking another boat.
That might be kind of hard.
What is that?
It wasn't my first pick.
Well, if you go south, you have to cross by the Sandamosiel, and that's where all the Drow and Turgar live. They're not exactly the friendliest port. And if you go north, you have to pass the Frozen Wastes.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, except that's where all the orcs originally came from.
Even better.
Don't we have to go through Orc territory even if we go by land?
Well, technically, you can go through the Dwarven lands.
For a moment, I think that the Frozen Waste would be pretty fun, and the orcs would be pretty fun. Then I reflect upon that I would not think that normally, and I shudder.
But yeah, but don't ever think about going to Dracon.
But you also have to, if you go north past Frozen Waste, you also have to pass out Altaris as well, and that can be dangerous on the oceans. I mean, they've been known to sack ships for slaves.
Wait, isn't that the elephant people place?
No, that's Zoolandis.
Oh.
Altaris is the fish people.
Oh!
Met a few of them.
And they sack ships. Great. Cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be a trip either way.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
probably.
a trip no matter where we go. The mistake is thinking anywhere's safe.
Well, I mean, if you go to Floramount, that's a pretty safe kingdom.
Which one is that again? Is that for the gnomes?
Yeah, that's where my people come from. It's about as peaceful as you get, apart from the fact that occasionally it gets raided by Sandalmolis, but so do all the countries, honestly.
It's not really a completely peaceful place.
Well, they try to stick to themselves. I mean, I don't know much about Zulanus itself, so like, maybe it's nice.
All I know is better bugs see.
You do know there are snakes in the jungle, right?
Yeah, but they ain't snake people with 2 arms that are snakes. And petrification breath, not to mention.
They could be there too.
What's this talk about snakes and bugs?
Yanzi, they're... Let's just
Oh.
say this.
Wait a minute, isn't Ishbalta and Draconolus desert?
Sorta.
Isn't there a lot of bugs in the desert?
Yeah.
Apparently, there's a lot of bugs in the cold, dead winter wasteland too.
Well, the ice ones, that's for sure.
Yeah, there's bugs everywhere.
Yeah, don't let Talitha hear that.
Did you know that actually, if you put all the bugs together in the world, they outweigh all the other creatures combined 100 times over?
No, I did not know that. Where'd you learn
Talitha's
that?
so thankful she's in the other room playing with Clarice.
And that's just the little ones, not even counting the giants.
Right.
Wow.
Anyway,
In any case, glad to see you guys are all having an interesting time.
Yeah, Ben, what do you know of bases?
What bases?
You really
Like-
gotta give him the talk, dude.
you see, Atlius, a base is typically a fortification that you establish during a military campaign.
Right.
There
I
are
know
many-
that.
There are many different kinds of bases. There's forward operating base. They're a little uncommon, but they're the ones you would find near or maybe a little behind enemy lines.
Okay, so next to Archon's Thinker pose, I'm gonna write the types of bases.
Don't save it there, kid. I'm tearing it out.
What? Oh. With the picture?
Yeah,
Why?
because it ain't funny.
It's not supposed to be. I turn it around to show Archon it's actually like a genuine attempt. It's not good, but it's not like the other picture that was like him like actually mocking you with the Godzilla Archon.
Yeah. Kind of shrugs and looks back to the others.
You
Did
know,
you want me to
Atlius,
rip it out?
perhaps we can get those little gray men to give us a ride somewhere.
That'd be cool if they existed.
They do.
I don't think they do.
On what
You
grounds?
didn't witness them anyway.
The irony is, it's not little gray men you're looking for, it's big fat gray men that come
It's-
from space in D&D, and they're called GIF.
That's true. One point we're gonna meet him. Alva was gonna go, see, I told you so.
It's giant GIF scientists in robes beam you up.
I'm gonna go
Those are
full on
just
Kiori when that happens.
Oh god, first contact with Kiori?
Oh god.
That'll also be last contact.
We were looking for intelligent life. We made a mistake.
Holy shit.
They're just
Um,
flying back to their homeworld. The horror.
Yeah.
Types of
Forward.
bases. There's a
She
forward.
licked
Reese's gonna be so mad if she hears this.
In any case, guys, yeah. So is there anything else you guys want to do with Yevon, or...
I don't think this really answered my question, so I'll ask again later.
Nah, I'll go in and watch Teltha play with Clarice for a few minutes.
See Teltha and Clarice rolling the ball back and forth with Clarice having a giant grin on his face.
I could put my hands together, clap, and I cast Detect Thoughts just for fun.
Okay. Whose
Where
thoughts
I
are
am
you
bored.
detecting?
Yebin's, but I'm not going deep.
So you just just hear the general thing with Yevin's face right now as he's kind of looking over his sketch pads, working out the types of shoes he's going to make for each of you, and the way he's going to, especially Archon's, the challenge of making Dragonborn shoes.
Cool.
Get-
And
gets-
I widened my search and then just try and like basically train myself to pinpoint specific thoughts without getting like sensory overload for that
but-
minute. And that's it really. I
Okay.
look at Clarice. Don't trust that boy.
Just like a Clarice, it goes, anti-tell fun! He's just kind of, bull!
Archon would probably see Ollie as like, whoa, with that face for seemingly no reason.
Hmm.
Any
he
other
kinda
minds you're
glances over.
invading for the next 30 seconds?
Roses. I can just invade the party some of the time.
Yeah, so you go
They're
look
always
at
around.
Rose as Rose is like looking at her and goes, ah, what a fair sight to see in all these people. Bring me my husband and enjoying such good times with my boy. Although I really wish they'd stop worrying my poor dear husband with all these talks of zombies and death. It's not like he didn't have a big enough issue we were coming down from that hellhole of a mountain mine.
I wince and I look over at Archon.
Like look over or like,
Like
nod?
actually like do the slow head turn towards Archon, trying to like not be too inconspicuous because Yebin's busy with his sketch pad.
I kind of meet your eyes. He has this look in his eye. He knows what you're doing.
They like there's a brief like shimmer in the air as the like spell finishes, and I'm like, yeah, Rose is very worried.
Shoot.
Or like even frustrated, kind of.
Again, she would be.
He boarded up his window, so it's like she's like in the right, you know,
Yeah.
from our message. Or Alivor's, but it's basically our message at this point.
Yeah. Sure.
So this will be your first time with the shoes?
Yeah. Do you just walk with him to look normal?
You just want to have them so that you fit in?
No, he's asking you if that's the case. For you. Did you wear shoes there at the mountain? You did, right?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it was cold.
Yeah. So he just kind of looks at you and asks you, did you just wear them to look normal?
At the mountain?
No, afterward.
Yeah. I guess? He stops and he thinks about it, like he didn't really think about it before. Well, like it was pretty cold up there, but I didn't need to walk through like tons of snow anymore.
You didn't really
My
think
feet
about
are-
it, did you?
No, my feet were more used to like always spring kind of weather climate. But yeah, no. I don't even think about it. But when I'm indoors, they like take them out. Oh, whoa! I must have built a habit or something. Didn't realize.
I guess you do that a lot when you're around humans.
Guess so. But yeah, it's definitely more comfortable just barefoot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought about what you said yesterday.
Did
Yeah. He kind of nods and is like, yeah, it's a chance to make things right. This time.
Yeah. Agree with that or just saying it?
Maybe I just saying it, trying to affirm it in my head.
Well, I think so.
I don't even know how to make it right.
I don't know, kid. Putting his body in the ground is probably the best way to make it right.
Hmm. Man, I
So
don't
what
even
else?
know if it would have worked, the flower on him.
Yeah. Especially what we know now.
Yeah. I still think it would have. It's like a super powerful flower, after all.
Seems like a flower of life, not a flower of death. Don't know if it'd kill worms.
Are you just gonna wear the shoes for, like, to look normal?
Nah, I don't look normal no matter what, kid. I'm just gonna try see how they are. Never
Well,
did
if
that
Yavin's
before.
making them, they'd be good. But it'd be weird looking at you with shoes. I don't think I'm
Yeah.
used to you wearing shoes.
Not gonna lie, I don't think I'm gonna like them, but might as well give them a chance.
Maybe they're really good, and you're like, I'm a shoe fanatic now.
Hmm.
And then you can start selling shoes when you go to your colonist. If we do.
Guess Yevon would make a killing. Or nothing at all. Who knows?
Haha, killing.
It's just a term, kid.
I know, but it's just like, that's the first word you came up with to describe that.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. Shrugs.
It's kind of look at Yavin's work ethic in passing time.
Yeah, but how's the family doing?
Yeah.
Well, they've been doing good since we got back. I mean, things have been going well. We've been, Clarice has been making friends at school, and, I've been
Oh,
getting
that's
everything
good.
together. Business is starting to pick up. Only in the last couple of days, I've had 2 people come in for shoes, so it's a start.
You mean beside us, right?
Of course, yeah.
Well, what will happen now that you boarded up your windows? Are you gonna have no customers?
I don't know. But, I'd rather have boarded up windows and no zombies than customers at the moment.
Okay.
At least you get your priorities straight.
Maybe
So-
you'll have a sign that says, like, we are actually open, like, outside, so that people, like, it's not
Yeah,
just
sounds
you
good.
abandoned this house.
That's not a bad idea, Atlas. I guess I'll do that, and then, have that sign up, and, people can come in and see we're not closed down, and I can tell them about the zombies that are coming to eat everybody.
I'm not gonna lie, I think the little guy was overthrowing that. Just
Maybe.
Yeah.
like, yeah, they're
Oh.
around, but I think it's gonna be a long while before the guards can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Have you talked much with Eleanor?
Not much since I saw her during after what occurred.
Right.
But,
Okay.
yeah, things are tough all over, I suppose. Just kind of looks over at him as he kind of fiddles with his hands, looking down. But you guys are doing good, right? I mean, there's nothing else you need of me. I mean, you guys have been exploring and looking around, and
We're good.
yeah, don't. That's good to hear.
Did he want to adventure? I'm just like insight. Like, did he actually want like? Yeah, we need you for a thing, Yebin.
You can roll me an insight check.
Show me the money. Yeah.
Oh, I was
black
actually wanting
one.
that one. Oh, damn.
You're like,
I
yeah,
also
he
wanted that
totally
one.
wants to be on board and like wants to go out and like fight zombies to the death and become a hero or heroic adventurer.
I mean, that would be really cool, Yebin, when Clarice would be like, wow, my dad's so awesome. Not that you are already awesome, man.
Wait, what?
Like, adventuring?
What about
And-
adventuring?
Like, you want to do it, right?
He kind of looks at you blankly, goes, "No! Why would you think I want adventure?"
Oh, sorry, you kind of had this, like, and I kind of reenacted, like, oh, but...
That's
I
a
don't-
face of
I
horror!
don't say. Is it? I kind of look at, I look at Archon, and I'm like, oh, right?
Yeah, maybe it's just experience, but Yevon's a family man.
Oh, that's good, Yevon. I take back everything I said. I hope you have a nice cobbler business. You really know, you seem to know what you're doing. I don't know anything about cobblers. Cobbling. Is that how you say it?
Cobbling is a nice, relaxing job, and the best part about cobbling? The shoes don't generally try to rip your face off and then lay worms in your stomach and turn you into a zombie.
I lean back towards Archon, chin like up towards Yebin, and I go, generally?
I mean, I met a few. Why do you think we don't like shoes?
Gasp.
Okay.
They're made by
Mimic
necromancers.
shoes.
Yevon's worst enemy, mimic shoes.
Oh my god! No.
They exist, so yeah.
Or maybe it's his favorite.
Don't give Heath ideas, guys, please. We want Yevon to have a happy life.
You want him to have a happy life.
Don't worry, that's what our con shoes are going to be. They're just going to be mimics at his feet.
Yevon's just
so
like, here you go,
powerful.
Archon, I made the best shoes for you.
That's how it gets back for all the scaring.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. With that, I will, unless you got something else you want to say to Yevon, I think we have a spot where you guys will then head out towards the slums.
Good.
Yevin, I guess it's time for you to die.
Oh my god.
No.
No, I think we should go back. So we have Curie and well,
Yeah, well, you guys head back to the inn, you guys get your rest in, and head off towards
Dinner.
the slums.
Yeah.
So you'll be in
Yeah.
the slums about 1 or 2 o'clock at night.
Oof, that's pretty low. Alright, cool.
That's why we resting. We like take a nap, so we're ready.
Yeah, that I'm including the like 6-hour nap you guys want to take.
I mean, I'm okay without it, but hey.
I don't know. That's just
I
Thing
want
is-
a nap.
We don't know how long it's going to take for these things to start popping up.
True.
So we could end up being fatigued.
Would
I
having
do.
a 6 nap help with that? Question mark?
yeah. That would
Sure.
definitely count
Yeah.
as a long rest.
Oh.
And someone gets his HP back.
And my eavesdropping spell.
So as you guys wander out into the pitch black nights of the area you guys were told where the sightings of the lights and the man in the brown robe had been, you begin your search around town in the slums. Your party gathered ready, moving out, and I think we'll end it there because this part should require the whole party.
Yes, it should.
Yeah.
Do I have new portents because it's a long rest?
Is it per long
Okay.
rest or per sunrise?
It says when you finish a long rest, so.
Then yes, you would.
Hmm.